Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we are doing the tier list update for the full 3.5 anniversary Spirit Master meta and all the other skill fusions and EX upgrades that it came with. There are a lot of units to go through. On the plus side, there is no normal 5-star list to update because these units already had skill fusions, so we don't really have to update that at all. It remains the same. But we do have the battle units, the free-to-play unit, and the 2 protection characters to go through. And as a FYI, if this is your first time watching the tier list and you don't know what all the little pretty icons mean, the purple icon, the rainbow icon, means that they have a skill fusion. So they're an older character whose skills were upgraded at a later point to be a little bit better. And so if they only have the skill fusion icon, that means that is their base level Milim and then their skill fused version. And they could be on the same tier, they could be higher. Occasionally it's lower, occasionally. And then the extra icon, the little element icons, are if they have their EX upgrades. So again, if they're an older character who maybe didn't have access to an Unbound alt, or like an EX alt, or the extra 6th ability release board, this is the icon. So some characters can have the skill fusion, some characters can have both icons, some characters can have just the element icon, because they haven't had a skill fusion, but they did get an EX upgrade. So that is what those mean, and they are shown across the board. And, if that's confusing, then I don't know how else to explain it. But let's go ahead and jump in with the easiest ones to update right now. All right, free-to-play Ritus is, on the Spirit Master team, she's fine. Off the Spirit Master team, she's not that fine. Because her orb change is limited to Spirit Master, which is not a super big, all-encompassing, great unit team. It's highly limited. And then her alt swap ability only hits Earth allies, which Earth still has the least amount of characters in the game. So unfortunately, you're going to go into the limited tier, just like most of the other free-to-play units. Most of the other fairly recent ones go into the limited tier because they have very niche teams and only one element swap. Sometimes they're good, like Shizu up here, Veldora, but Ritus isn't going to be used much outside of one team for one stage in 3 months or something like that. So, sorry, Ritus, you're not really generically good enough to be placed any higher. All right, the protectors. So, first off, Romorus. Romorus is not a very good blue stacking free-to-play protector. Why is that? Because she doesn't actually raise your skill cap. She'll stack your Aegis power and she'll give you guaranteed Aegis rate. Yeah, that's great. But you're constantly capped at 150 skill points, and she doesn't raise the cap, she doesn't skill reset you. So what that means is that after 3 turns of orb changing, you don't have any more points to do anything else. So it's not well built for what the Spirit Master team is meant to do. If she had simply raised the skill cap, she would have been fine. Would have been fine as a free-to-play option. But she's not. But she is going to give people the ability to use Aegis. And to that, I say she's limited. She's not okay or anything higher. She's meh overall, but because she is the only other option besides the battle unit Velzard to give Aegis rate, she's going to stay in limited for now, because you will have limited use of her for that effect. In probably 5 months' time, when we get 4 more characters that have Aegis, she's going to drop down. And then we have the new Protector Masked Hero, who is, for her sake, doing quite a bit. She's healing you, she's rushing your ult, she's doing all the other things that blue stacking protectors generally do, is stack some kind of buff, raise your skill cap, give you extra points on blues. The healing can be pretty clutch for players who don't have the best gear, don't have the best dupes, and it can save you. 30% every turn is pretty big. The 50% ult rush also eliminates probably the biggest issue that most blue stacking protectors have, is that you don't get a lot of ult gauge. So she can solve that fairly easily. She is generically good. And to that, I will put her in very good, and I'm going to drop Elmazia down because her team is ass. She's very good. She's not godly, but she's better than the old blue stacking protectors over here. Lumi, I think, is also going to drop down a bit. Renard, I think, is still fine. Idle Rimuru, I mean, Pretty Sparkle is now limited, I'd say. So we're going to drop him down. The Whale Masayuki, I hate running him. He's just decent. Near Shion can still be good. Vengeance Velzard, yeah, technically you can. Renard and Ogre's Pride Benimaru can still be useful. Renard is probably the most generically useful out of any blue stacking protector, besides the Masked Hero now. But she's good. Like, if you get her, she's a solid option for a blue stack team. Or even kind of a 5-turn blue team, if you can run it correctly. I don't think she's going to go any higher, though. I don't think she can go any higher right now, especially with the Spearmaster team being just kind of full of trainees and the new meta. Like, that's not really going to cut it right now. But she is very good still. So we'll put her in the tier that I believe she deserves to be in. Next, we have all the EX upgrades and for the Masked Hero, Shizu Trainee, and then the remaining Octogram characters. So the current Wind Masked Hero lives probably somewhere up here. Yeah, okay. Well, just because she got an EX Unbound Awakening doesn't change her at all. Her skills aren't skill fused, so what she does is she does a little bit extra damage now. It has no bearing or impact on her usefulness, because most of the time you're using her to just triple orb steal. So that she remains unchanged for now. Dino, with the skill fusion, with the EX upgrade, I mean, he can be very situational for a defensive-focused team if you really, really, really want to bring him, and you have the investment to get him skill fused and EX upgraded and all that. Limited situational. I'll give him that. He's not trash, but I cannot foresee too many scenarios people would use him, but people have. So you know what? I'll give him to him. Guy with the EX upgrade, I mean, is still now, well, he's a cheap stunner and he's free, and he's got that orb change for fire characters. I'm going to put him in great for now. I mean, stunning definitely is not as commonly used now to cheese because of Reckoning, because you can just reckon the shit out of it and you don't have to stun them, but he can still be useful. So we'll put him in the S tier right there. Lumi is still S tier as well for her own supporting purposes. AoE alt damage, or AoE damage and stacking alt damage, plus the extra alt gauge on all orbs, 50%, plus the protection trait. Like, she's good. She's great, bordering on amazing. But she does have the EX alt now. You can make her an AoE DPS. Very possible. I don't know if too many people are right now. So we'll keep her in S tier as well. And then Romaris is situational. Big time heal like that. Defensive skills, again with Dino. Sometimes, yeah, sure. Not very often. The Light Masked Hero with her skill fusion is a joke. She got the worst skill fusion out of all the bunch, so like, where even is she? There she is. Alright, well, you're going to stay there then. Light Shizu, I mean, is again limited situational, defensively focused healing, guard, attack lowering. Yeah, she's okay. You can use her in Valor Cup. Trainee, the same way, healing. This Wind Trainee as an orb changer, as an alt rusher, like, yeah, you can use her. You're probably better off bringing somebody else, though. Just not bringing her at all. There are better options for you. So healing and healing can definitely save you. Healing can save you. Defensive and healing can save you. Trainee, unnecessary for most things. So that takes care of the EX upgrades. Now let's move into the new units. Actually, before we do that, I have a few more edits to make on the top of this tier list. Frey is going down to damage only. She is just a single target water nuking character that happens to have some kind of HP and heal skill. While that is useful for the whales and sweats in Valor Cup, most people, one, didn't summon for her, and two, aren't going to use her for that purpose. They're going to use her for her big time 90-point damage skill as the best single target water nuking character, which is what we did for Jubilee this month. So you're going down to damage only. We're going to drop Exalted Champion Rimuru down into the good tier because he is good. He's not great anymore. He was great on the antagonist team with Shinsha. But an attack buff by itself and a one-time alt swap is not good enough. If he gets a skill fusion in the next couple months and he gets like 2 times you can do the alt swap into rainbows, then he'll go back up into great. But for now, he's going to go down there. I am going to move Violet up into great tier. Primal Demons will continue to get more buffs. The Rainbow Orb changing is great. The control stacks with the Warrior's Mind team is good. I am coming around to the power of Warrior's Mind to Violet. Don't worry. She's up here now. And I'm going to drop Momiji down. And I'm going to drop Kyoko down. So these characters, I mean, can be useful, but they're very hardly used at all at this point. So they're good. You can use them as a support if you have to. There are better options, and there are certainly worse options. So that's the changes that I wanted to make to the top of the list. Some people would argue that Blanc and Violet don't need to be up here anymore. I would say that they still have pretty good value for most players, except the tippity top tier. I would also hear arguments of moving Blanc into her own tier. I would hear an argument for that, and I wouldn't really argue with you. I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But we're going to keep her here with the rest of these characters that are just really, 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 really good. So those are the updates I want to this list. Now let's do the new characters. Alright, so let's start in order of banner release. So we've got Leon and Velzard. Leon, as a generic blue orb changer and a generic EX alt damage buffer, is really good. He's actually pretty amazing because he can do a whole ton of things for you. So he is really, really, really good for a lot of players. The only problem that I have with Leon is that he is going to get replaced very, very easily on any number of teams because most teams are going to get their own version of an alt buffer and an EX alt buffer, or they don't want blue orbs. So he is going to kind of fit a niche in case some teams don't. But also, you can't hold on to alt buffs like you can a dark buff or a weakness strike buff or a synergy power buff. So it is a one-turn use. So he is good. He's very, very good. He's generically very, very good, and I like generically good characters because they can buff anybody, and he can certainly do that. Velzard, I think, is also the same, but also not. Because anybody can get the Aegis rate. The Aegis debuff is a debuff, so you can't hold that either. It's this first unit that has this skill in the game, besides that Protector Ramos we talked about earlier. And her stun, while probably going to fit along the same terms of Guy, while being situationally good, maybe for Jubilee Boss Battle 3, or Normal Battle 3, and that's about it, you can still get use out of it. It's just that I don't know, as the only Aegis character in the game, I don't know how much longevity she's going to have. The next meta might nerf Aegis, and you'd be like, okay, well, that's cool. What the fuck is she going to do now? I don't know what's going to happen. I assume that they probably won't for a couple of months. That way you can get some use out of her. But until we see more characters with Aegis, or we continue to see stages that can be stunned, she's going to stay in S tier instead of SS tier. Jaune. Limited or situational, I think is where I'm going to put you. Limited because she needs Velzard, or she needs Ramos to get that Aegis rate, so you can get that 100% Aegis power. Her element buff for 100% is cool and everything, but if that's the only thing you're using a 90-point skill for is 100% element, you need to find a different character to bring. And then her second skill with the alt orb buffing thing, where it makes an alt orb act like a blue orb and gives you the skill points and the buffs that a blue orb would normally have. Like, that is cool. That is highly situational, though. You can use it on other teams. Like, I understand that. Because if you're running an orange team, you can still use that skill. You could still send the alt and you'll get the benefits of a blue orb. But if the blue orbs are nerfed, the alt orb is going to be nerfed as well. So it is situational. She literally fits the bill of limited and situational. So she's going to stay in the limited situational until we get more units that give Aegis rate that will allow us to activate Jaune's big time buff fully. Then she can probably go into like the good tier, verging on great. But until that point, I'm going to leave her in the C tier because I'm not bringing her on teams that do not have Velzard. Okay, that's just straight up, I'm not. There's no point. And finally, we have transforming Rimuru. Our first transformation character didn't quite live up to the hype and expectation that I personally had for him, as is the case with a few of the characters for any anniversary for this game, either half or full. He's transforming. That's cool. He gets the rainbow orbs for himself. That's cool. It's only for himself, which makes him not as useful as New Year's Rimuru or Octagram Demon Lord Milim, because they can just give their rainbows to somebody else, and they will just stay on the field. He takes them with him if you move him in the back. That's not great. The personal ult damage buff is cool. He is the earth nuking character. Great. He's got a personal buff. It makes sense. The after transformation skill with the 300% weakness down is a huge debuff that will help people who are type advantage, and that's it. If you are type neutral, if the enemy has no typing at all, or you're like space on space, or wind on wind, or dark on fire, that debuff means absolutely nothing. His second skill, the Lord's Ambition, Lord's Ambition is cool and gimmicky and fun and all. I'm more so using it for the second ability, which is the future hand of orbs that turn into blues, the 2 orbs that do it. I'm going to put him in damage only. Right? In his perfect scenario, he's got that personal buff, he's got that debuff that's going to work well with him. His Lord's Ambition prevents him from being debuffed so he can stay a strong DPS character. The future hand is cool and everything, but it's only 2 orbs. They're blue orbs. And the ult resistance down that comes from Lord's Ambition as well, like that's cool, and that helps him do more damage. But I'm not bringing him as a support character for another team. I'm not putting him on Warrior's Mind. I'm not putting him on the Freerun team. I'm building a team around him, not the other way around. So damage only, I think, is where this Rimuru deserves to be right now. We might see other transforming characters. That's going to be a video that I do upcoming of the future of transformation characters, and hopefully they can do it a little bit better than what this Rimuru did, but he did initiate the whole we can do transformations now. So to that, I give him credit. But I can't put him any higher. He's not really helping anybody else but himself at the end of the day. So that's the tier list for May of 2025. Let me know what you guys think of these placements. Do you think they are fair? Do you think I am being overly harsh on a few of them, or maybe a bit overly too good on Leon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.